the foul pole, a 3-run homer.
That was the moment Game 3 slipped away from the Toronto Blue Jays, giving up a lovely lead they would never get back. In just over an hour's time, they will try for a second time to finish off the Yankees.
Good evening. It was not the result Toronto fans were hoping for when the Jays and Yankees went head-to-head last night.
But Toronto still holds a 2-1 lead in the American League Division Series and could end that series tonight with a win. CTV's Sean Leithong is live tonight on the field at Yankee Stadium. Sean, you've been inside the ballpark all day. You've been speaking with fans. You've seen the Jays warming up. What's the mood like down there ahead of Game 4?
The mood amongst the players is calm and professional. They know what to do. They know what they have to do. The question is, can they execute it? After all, the Blue Jays and the Yankees are the two best teams in the American League with identical records. You had to figure the Yankees would come back at some point. It was a little bit of a shock to Jays fans after having that 6-1 lead that it was able to slip away last night, but they do have another chance. When you look on the other side of it, of course, Yankees fans are known for being the most boisterous in all of Major League Baseball. We heard the crowd cheer in that video you played of Aaron Judge's 3-run home run last night. We spoke to a few Yankee fans today about how they're feeling, and they said they're feeling pretty good.
I mean, the Yankees are Yankees, man. Win, lose, or draw, we still the best. That's how I feel about them. It don't matter. We're going to take it sooner or later, again and again and again and again.
Please, we were just praying not to have a sweep. We just did not want to get swept, at least one win, but when we were seeing that the Yankees were up, Aaron Judge with the 3 home run, oh my goodness, I'm shaking right now, I'm shaking.
The Yankee Stadium, motivation.
Motivation, Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
What's going to happen today?
Today, champion, Yankee.
They're going to win today?
Yankee Stadium, yeah.
Blue Jays are going to lose?
No, Yankee.
Yankees are going to win.
Yankee today.
Now, you may remember yesterday the Spanish-speaking gentleman that we spoke to predicted the Yankees would lose, so who knows where this one goes. When it comes to the Yankees fans, though, Nathan Lucas from the Toronto Blue Jays was asked what it is like to play in the outfield because he is in the lineup tonight when those Yankee fans are loud. Here's what he said.
I mean, pretty much the same. I start by turning my Instagram to private. That way I don't give them any more ammo. But, I mean, I try and give them some baseballs, try and have some fun with them. When they're this loud and rowdy, it's kind of hard to single out the voices, which is kind of nice. But when they're not as loud, those voices tend to get in your ear a little bit.
So the Blue Jays will be starting Louis Varland tonight in what is considered a bullpen day. Now, Varland has pitched a lot for the Blue Jays in this series already, and he's expected just to have a couple of innings as the Blue Jays use many pitchers this evening. They won't have a traditional starting pitcher who's expected to go 4, 5, or 6 innings, hoping to keep the Yankees off balance. The Yankees will be countering with Cam Schlittler, who was just fantastic in the wild card series. He went 8 strong innings with 12 strikeouts against the Boston Red Sox, so it could come down to pitching tonight. Who gets the best of who? And we'll find out if the Jays come back to Toronto alone or if they're bringing the Yankees with them. Reporting live, I'm Sean Leithong. Michelle and Sarada will send it back to you.
Can't wait to see. And if you haven't already made plans to watch tonight's game, the city will be hosting an ALDS viewing party at Mel Lastman Square starting just a bit after 7 o'clock. Now, if the series goes to a Game 5, there will be another viewing party Friday evening at 8:08 at Albert Campbell Square. Officials say if the Jays advance further, viewing events will be hosted at Nathan Phillips Square. And later in the broadcast, we'll take you to a Scarborough school where students were cheering on the Jays today and virtually meeting some young Yankee fans from a classroom in New York. We'll have more from these little fans ahead on CTV News at 6. And by the way, the Jays aren't the only Toronto team fans are rooting for tonight. The CTV News helicopter is live over Scotiabank Arena, where the Leafs are getting set to start their season.
There are high expectations for the Leafs this year, despite the departure of one of their top players in the offseason. CTV's Allison Hurst joins us now live tonight with more. Allison.
Yes, lots of excitement and lots of anticipation as they see what the Leafs are going to look like without Mitch Marner heading into Game 1 of 82.
Final preparations are underway at Scotiabank Arena that will soon be filled with fans and their inflated hopes of a deep playoff run.
I'm over the moon. Life dream, eh?
Life dream.
Yeah, for sure.
George and Peggy Boudreau are here for 24 hours from Nova Scotia to see the Leafs face off in Toronto for the very first time.
We usually went to Montreal to see him, but this year I was looking for tickets in November for the game between Montreal and Toronto, and I just took a peek in Scotiabank Centre. When I seen 2 tickets, I said, get my credit card.
Tonight's home opener, an Original Six rivalry, the Leafs versus the Habs.
I have nothing but faith, right? It's ready to start the season.
Notably absent, Mitch Marner, gone to the Vegas Golden Knights in the offseason.
You're going to miss a guy like Marner. That's huge production, over 100 points.
And it broke up the Leafs' top line.
They have not figured it out yet. They've been very open about that. The general manager, Brad Treliving, is looking to add another top 6 forward. But you know what? The playoffs don't start tonight or tomorrow. They got time.
The other player missing, goaltender Joseph Wall, off on a personal leave.
Anthony Stolarz has never played more than the 34 games he played last season, so they want to split the workload. But without Woll, all of a sudden the depth is being tested.
Putting extra pressure on the shoulders of captain Austin Matthews.
Stay healthy, score 50 goals.
At this morning's skate, players feel optimistic.
It's exciting. Clean slate, fresh start for everyone.
Including Matthias Michelli, making his season debut on the wing of Matthews.
Sounds pretty good to me, right?
For these university students, it's a sports double whammy with the Leafs season opener and the Jays playoff game 4.
I think I'm going to be switching the channels in and out, but, I'm here for the Leafs.
And hoping they get off to a hot start.
And we've been seeing a lot of what's going on here behind me. A lot of Jays jerseys along with and mixed in with a lot of Leafs jerseys as well. The season opener for the Leafs gets underway in just under an hour's time. Reporting live, I'm Allison Hurst. Zoraida, back to you.
Thank you, Allison. Also tonight, the latest chapter in the speed camera showdown. Toronto City Council's last-ditch attempt to signal to the Premier there's no need to scrap the enforcement measure altogether. But first, let's give you a live look right now at the city this hour. Beautiful sunshine today, but a noticeable change out there. It is a bit cooler, and tonight there is a risk of frost. Lindsay Morrison is here now with a look at our current conditions. We were talking about Humidex not long ago, and now we need to protect the plants.
Oh, Zoraida, earlier this week, if you can remember, it was near 30 degrees, and now, yes, we are going to be close to freezing. So not a surprise that Environment Canada has issued a frost advisory, and this includes pockets of the GTA, portions of Peel region, York region, and Durham region in there. Right now it is 13 degrees. We only made it to a high of 14 this afternoon. So that's a dramatic change from earlier on. Winds are coming directly out of the north. They are gusting upwards of 40 kilometers per hour. It's pretty dry on the satellite and radar right now. There's all the rain that impacted us yesterday, and it has moved out of New York City, which is great news for Game 4 of the ALDS tonight. Let's go Blue Jays. A little cooler than it was last night. Still a little windy. We'll take you through the forecast for the week and the weekend ahead here in the city of Toronto coming up. But for now, Zoraida, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. 5 teens are under arrest after a brazen smash and grab robbery this morning.
It happened inside the Oshawa Centre. CTV's Beth McDonnell has more.
Not long after the smash and grab robbery, staff are seen cleaning up and organizing at Paris Jewelers inside the Oshawa Centre.
It was actually an extremely dangerous incident. These suspects came into the mall wielding bats and a pickaxe, which is, that's obviously unusual. They smashed all the display cases using these tools.
Police say the mall was already busy when they received a call shortly before 11 in the morning about a violent theft underway.
That 4 males were actively breaking and smashing display cases. They stole several amounts of jewelry.
People in the mall tell CTV News the suspects wore masks and other stores quickly worked to close their doors.
I heard crashing. It sounded like glass being shattered. And then I just saw people running throughout the mall.
Police say the suspects, all male between 13 and 19 years of age, fled in an SUV before getting off the highway at Salem Road in Ajax and crashing. All 5 of them then took off on foot in the area of Clements and Pickering Beach roads.
They ran a pretty far distance on foot in that surrounding area. But luckily we had that area covered by all of our officers, including the K9 unit. We searched for, a good amount of time, but we were able to take everybody into custody and keep the community safe.
Police say no pedestrians or other motorists were injured from the crash, and no one was hurt at the Oshawa Centre either. Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
Metrolink says the long-delayed Eglinton Crosstown LRT has crossed a major milestone. Transit officials confirm a critical part of testing the east-west transit line began Tuesday. This period is called Revenue Service Demonstration. For 30 days, the gray and white trains will run along the 19-kilometer track from Mount Dennis to Kennedy without passengers on board. This objective is to identify any outstanding issues. It'll be followed by what's called the bedding-in phase with more testing. Metrolink has not said exactly when the line will open. It's at least $1 billion over budget and was first scheduled to open in 2020. A summit being held in this city may be helping to shed some light on what's to come with U.S.-Canada trade relations.
The U.S. Commerce Secretary, speaking virtually to attendees, gave a clearer picture of what the U.S. is after when it comes to automobiles, among other things. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris joins us from the summit site downtown with more. Siobhan.
Well, people in the room say this was a more aggressive tone from Howard Lutnick when it comes to the auto industry. Doug Ford says it's the strongest language he's heard yet, and it's something he thinks Canada needs to be prepared for. A comprehensive, collaborative auto deal between Canada and the U.S. not in the cards, according to the U.S. Commerce Secretary. Howard Lutnick made the comments in a closed-door session of the 2025 U.S.-Canada Summit hosted by BMO and Eurasia Group. Sources in the room say Lutnick said Canada needs to come second to the U.S. on cars, that America could buy auto parts, but that's about it.
I would say it's a massive threat when you have the Secretary of Commerce coming out and saying that, and the President, you'd only say it if the President gave him the green light. So we have to be prepared.
Lutnick's words, a stronger version of what we heard from Donald Trump yesterday when the Prime Minister visited the Oval Office.
It's a tough situation because we want to make our cars here. At the same time, we want Canada to do well making cars. So we're working on formulas, and I think we'll get there.
Ontario's auto industry has been struggling under the weight of tariffs and the uncertainty they've injected into the market.
As I've always said, the auto pack's been around since the 1960s. You can't unscramble an egg, you have to make the omelet larger.
The head of the Auto Parts Manufacturers Association doesn't see that automakers with operations on both sides of the border can handle the White House's approach long term.
Are you ready to possibly face bankruptcy, at least, on some of your brands? Because the White House has an opinion on what types of jobs it wants to see? I don't think so.
In his virtual session, Lutnick also advocated breaking up CUSMA renegotiations, striking separate deals with Canada and Mexico.
They keep saying that they find Mexico easier to deal with, so I think they are probably going to do that. So I think the Canadian idea that we have to hug Mexico on all of these issues, we've got to revisit that.
Doug Ford has pushed for disentangling from Mexico off and on. Just a few weeks ago, Mark Carney brushed off the notion of Canada going at it alone.
CUSMA, USMCA, is strength together. It's strength of the three countries together.
Canada and the U.S. have launched consultations on CUSMA. The three-way trade deal is up for review next year. Reporting live, I'm Siobhan Morris. Michelle, back to you.
Thank you, Siobhan. Over at Toronto City Hall today, councillors are trying to navigate the speed bump thrown up by the provincial government when it comes to speed cameras on city streets.
The objective, tweak the approach to automated enforcement in the hopes of winning over the Premier. CTV's Natalie Johnson reports.
In a bid to slow down the Premier's plan to outlaw speed cameras in this province.
It rips out one of the most effective tools to keep children safe.
Mayor Olivia Chow called on council today to pledge support for automated enforcement.
This is a total cash grab.
Hoping to change Doug Ford's mind.
This is just the Premier trying to get a couple of points in the polls at the cost of human lives.
The Premier is not interested in slowing traffic in any way. The Premier is, I think, acting like he would very much like to be a mayor of a municipality.
Unfortunately, this is another example where the mayor and leadership at City Hall has not demonstrated the action or response to the feedback that we've been receiving, and it looks like the Premier is going to scrap the program entirely.
Council's plan changed the program in an effort to save it, including implementing a one-week grace period after the first infraction so drivers can be notified about the ticket, and adding bigger, better signage to alert drivers of the speed camera ahead.
There's a lot of parents out there that are quite worried because when they see that there's folks going 30 or 40 over the speed limit, they're simply wondering, wow, why would you take those cameras out?
City staff say the worst speeding they've ever caught on camera is someone going 187 kilometers per hour in a 50. They say no one has ever been fined for going 1 or 2 kilometers above the posted limit, but they won't reveal exactly what the threshold for getting a ticket is.
I believe more people will get killed and injured if people know the limit at which they get ticketed, because then people will feel like they can drive that limit.
The consensus in the chamber today, photo radar is one piece of the puzzle in reducing deaths on city streets.
The conversation is getting louder and clearer throughout, vote-rich 905 GTA, and I think that'll have an impact.
Toronto now joining a chorus of councils asking the Premier to keep the cameras.
Speed cameras save lives.
For safer streets. Natalie Johnson, CTV News.
In Vancouver, Canadian authorities unveiled an updated list of the 25 most wanted fugitives today.
You don't make it to number one of those top 25 for stealing a car. You're at the top of this list because we believe you pose a serious threat to any person and any place where you may be.
A man wanted for murder in Toronto is this country's most sought-after suspect. 23-year-old Brian Fuentes Gramajo is alleged to belong to a Montreal-based gang. He is wanted for the murder of a man outside Yorkdale Shopping Centre last summer. A reward that could reach $100,000 is being offered for information leading to his arrest. The most wanted list is an initiative of the BOLO program that encourages the public to be on the lookout for fugitives. And you might have noticed earlier at that announcement, police used stand-ins wearing masks of the faces of the most wanted people.
Charges against Peter Nygard in Winnipeg were stayed today. That means legal proceedings against the former fashion mogul have been halted, at least for now. Nygard's lawyer argued the charges should be stayed because reports drawn up after 2 police interviews with his accuser were later destroyed. Nygard was charged with sexual assault and unlawful confinement 2 years ago. Police say a woman alleged she was assaulted at a warehouse in 1993. Nygard still faces a trial on sex charges in Quebec and extradition to the U.S. on sex trafficking and racketeering charges. He was sentenced last year to 11 years for sex offenses in Toronto. In the U.S., former FBI Director James Comey has pleaded not guilty to lying to Congress. Comey made his first court appearance in Virginia today. He is accused of providing false statements and obstructing a congressional proceeding 5 years ago. Comey plans to ask the judge to throw out the charges, alleging they were brought up by Donald Trump. The trial date has been set for January 5th. Trump fired Comey during his first term as U.S. president.
3 more Nobel Prize laureates were announced in Stockholm today.
The Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences has today decided to award the 2025 Nobel Prize in Chemistry to Susumu Kitagawa, Kyoto University, Japan, Richard Robson, University of Melbourne, Australia, and Omar Yagi, University of California, Berkeley, USA.
The scientists developed molecular constructions that have large spaces through which gases and other chemicals can flow. They can be used to harvest water from desert air and capture carbon dioxide, helping tackle climate change and a lack of fresh water.
Coming up, a revolutionary procedure performed for the first time in Canada, opening up a new world of possibilities for those in need of a heart transplant.
And I'm Pat Foran. Coming up on Consumer Alert, if you're buying a big ticket item, you might be offered a chance to pay no interest for as long as a year. But if you don't pay off the loan on time, you could have to pay thousands of dollars extra in interest charges. All of that story, that's just ahead.
Well, the hurricane season typically comes to an end near the end of November. It's been quiet as of late, but we have a couple of storms to bring you up to speed on, including Tropical Storm Jerry. It is going to impact the Leeward and Virgin Islands before once again veering out to sea in the Atlantic. And then there is Priscilla, which has just been downgraded from a hurricane to a tropical storm. This is going to impact Mexico's Baja Peninsula into this weekend. Our weekend forecast comes with a little bit of a question mark for rain. We'll take you through it coming up, and stay with us. We've got another full night of great shows for you right here on CTV.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. text 10400.
If you're making a large purchase, buying a furnace, appliances, or even some furniture, you might be offered a deferred payment plan.
They can allow you to pay 0% interest over the course of a loan, but if you don't pay it off by a certain date, you can be hit with major interest charges. Here's Pat Foran and Consumer Alert. Pat.
Thanks, Zoraida and Michelle. Zero interest loans can be a good thing. But if it's a deferred interest loan, it means the full amount must be paid off within a specific time. A woman was shocked when she missed her final payment by a week and got charged $3,000 interest.
Which was don't pay for 1 year, no interest. So I thought, great, got it.
Nina Stanchevsky of Bradford saw an advertisement for a water softener and decided to get one for her home. The purchase price was $6,500, and last August she agreed to a deferred 0% interest loan for 12 months.
In August, I had my last payment in my head due of $804.99, I believe. And I didn't get a statement.
Stanchevsky says she found out the final payment was due on August 15th, but she made the payment a week late on August 22nd. Because she missed the deadline, she was charged more than $3,000 in interest.
I didn't get the final statement, so I didn't know when it was due.
Stanchevsky took out the loan with Flexity, a company that offers financing and payment plans for many different stores and services. When she complained, she was offered a discount of $900, which she declined, claiming she wasn't properly notified of her final due date.
I would like just for it to be forgiven. I mean, there's got to be some kind of grace period. There's got to be something. I paid it on the 22nd.
CTV News reached out to Flexity but did not get a response. But on the company's website, it does say, with deferred plans, the balance must be paid in full before the end of the term to avoid accrued interest being charged to your account.
They can be effective if the consumer is disciplined and can actually pay them off on time.
Retail analyst Bruce Winder says anyone using deferred payment plans must keep track of them carefully and pay them off before their due date to avoid interest charges.
If you're going to enter one of these plans, make sure that you have a very disciplined process at home where you pay on time because, you don't want to be looking at, 30% plus interest rate on anything.
Stanchevsky feels she shouldn't have to pay $3,000 in interest for being 1 week late.
I'm not paying this, so write it off now, write it off later. In the end, not paying it.
And if you have an outstanding bill you don't pay, it can have a major impact on your credit rating and credit score. Before accepting any zero interest offers, make sure you have a good understanding of their total cost and their fine print. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
If you have a consumer story idea, email us at alert@ctv.ca.
Well, we've certainly put the rain behind us, but a notable difference today temperature-wise. Ooh, did it feel fresh in the morning? And the overnight numbers are looking pretty low. We're talking frost.
I know. We were talking about it earlier, whether or not we have to cover our plants. Because, they've just been enjoying summer-like weather up until now.
I hope they live forever, but I guess not.
I know. Some people have had a really nice extended garden season this year because of all the warm weather that we've had. But yes, tonight is a night. Maybe cover up anything sensitive to frost. Bring it inside if that's a better option for you. Our temperature is expected to be near freezing in some parts of the GTA tonight. And then tomorrow morning, oh boy, if you thought this morning was chilly, wait until you feel as you're walking out the door in the early morning hours. Here's what it looked like earlier today, though. Yes, it was a little bit cooler than we've been, but this is the kind of weather we expect at this time of year. A beautiful, sunny October day. And look at those colors starting to change on the trees. It's happening more and more here around the GTA. We've talked about how color change is at or near 100% in places like Algonquin Park and Muskoka. Here's a look at where we find some other communities at this time. 60% color change in the Kawarthas, and now anywhere from 50 to 60% across Durham region. So the next couple of days are going to be great for getting outside and maybe checking out some of the fall foliage. Right now it is 12 degrees. So yes, it is a little bit cool out there in Toronto. I'll remind you of the fact that our temperature was around 28 degrees at times last weekend and into the early part of this week. Our evening at a glance, it looks like a clear sky, some breezy northerly winds, and that's puck drop time for us. Maple Leafs home opener downtown. If you're heading to the game, no weather troubles to impact your drive or your commute, but look what's happening through the overnight hours. So temperature near freezing in places like Waterloo, London, Goderich, Orillia, -1 overnight tonight in Peterborough, and -4 in the Bancroft area. We could hover somewhere around 3 degrees at Pearson Airport, but again, some pockets of the GTA are included in this frost advisory. It is issued by Environment Canada, and we often reach our coolest temperature just before sunrise. So early tomorrow morning, it's going to feel chilly. The kids, as they're on their way off to school, might need a toque instead of a ball cap, and maybe some gloves to keep them warm as well. I know, all of a sudden, this is what we're talking about in October. 13 degrees is our forecast daytime high for tomorrow. That's on the cool side of seasonal. 15 is our average high this time of year. But once again, we are looking at a whole lot of sunshine. High pressure is locked in place, at least for the next couple of days. And I say that because there could be a little bit of a change to our weekend forecast. Let me show you what the forecast radar is suggesting right now. So lots of sunshine for your Thursday, maybe a little bit of cloud here and there into Friday. See this? I'm watching for potential wet weather now moving in overnight and into Saturday. Possibly some showers for Sunday as well. We should be able to have a better handle on this possible forecast change for the weekend tomorrow. But right now we are expecting temperatures to return to the upper teens. That will be a nice change after a fresh feel tomorrow morning and Friday morning. At this point, your Thanksgiving Monday is looking quite lovely, and pleasant conditions continue through the middle part of next week. That's your look at the forecast. Zoraida, I'll send it over to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. A massive mural is already making a big impression in the Weston Village area, still under work.
The 4,000 square foot Impressionist art piece is said to be the largest of its kind in Toronto. CTV's Jessica Smith got a first look at the project.
Art imitating nature in the Weston neighborhood.
Ultimately, I decided to make a painting that reflects the Humber River, but specifically I was interested in the wind and how we experience the wind, how it affects us, and how it goes through us.
This 4,000 square foot wall, located at the Weston Go Up Express station, is set to become a massive mural by local artist Moises Frank.
So this first part is kind of like the underpainting, just kind of putting like washes of color down on the wall, making sure my shapes are right and the colors feel like they're starting to be balanced.
We approached the city councilor saying we wanted to create more civic pride, a sense of community. And we decided the best way to do that is just to create something really beautiful for the city.
The design concept is a combination of nature and wildlife that the community coexists with.
They sent me like this really beautiful brief, which was like kind of refreshing to see something like that was very open but still consistent with what they were looking for.
The finished piece, a gift to the neighborhood Frank calls home.
Talking about it and seeing it as a painting versus a mural. And when I started to see it like that, it was like I felt like the community can have more of a sense of ownership of like there's this beautiful massive painting that we as a community own.
The mural here at the Weston Go Up Express station is expected to be done mid-November and ready for the whole community to enjoy. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
Also tonight, Dolly Parton insists she ain't dead yet. The flood of concern that prompted the country queen to set the record straight.
It's being called a Canadian first. A Toronto hospital has performed a transplant using a heart that was revived after the donor died and the heart stopped beating.
It's something that could save more lives and certainly gives hope to those on an organ wait list. CTV's Heather Wright has more on the breakthrough and who stands to benefit.
Nearly 1 million Canadians are living with heart failure, many waiting for a transplant that may never come.
Many of them never make it to actually get that good news, that phone call that we found a heart for you. So this will provide hope for them that there will be a heart.
That hope is care of a new procedure Dr. Syed Ali Reza Rabi performed in early September at Toronto General Hospital. A heart transplant from a donor whose heart had stopped beating. The first time this cutting-edge procedure has been performed in Canada.
The heart is warm, meaning that it's not cooled to protect it, and it is not getting oxygen or nutrients. So this is a vulnerable time for a heart. So we have to take that heart out and through special techniques, preserve it, bring it back, and put it in the person and hope that the heart starts beating.
Typically, heart donations come from people who are brain dead, but oxygen is still circulating in the body and their organs are still functioning. This procedure, first pioneered in Australia a decade ago, will open the pool of possible donors, and early data suggests the outcomes are similar.
And it looks like there is no difference between the outcome of the hearts of people who've received hearts from a traditional brain dead donor versus circulatory dead donor.
Right now, who is eligible for this procedure depends on where they live, as doctors don't want the donated heart to be outside of the body for more than an hour. But there is hope as new technology becomes available. Hearts will be able to travel anywhere in Canada, saving many more lives. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Meanwhile, for those living with Duchenne muscular dystrophy, there is a promising first.
A medication specifically developed to deal with the condition is now available in this country. Health reporter Pauline Chan has more.
6-year-old Oliver is an active boy, and his parents hope he'll stay that way for a long time.
So yeah, skiing, biking, fishing.
It's all thanks to a new drug, Agamree or vamorolone, just approved in Canada for boys with Duchenne muscular dystrophy.
The difficulty in Duchenne muscular dystrophy revolves around a protein called dystrophin, and that protein is either missing or not working well based on a problem in the gene.
The muscles break down and inflammation leads to the formation of scar tissue.
Vamorolone helps to reduce that muscle inflammation, thereby, kind of preventing some of the scar tissue formation and that ends up accompanying the muscle damage.
Dr. Craig Campbell says because this drug was specifically developed for Duchenne patients, it reduces the typical side effects associated with traditional steroid treatments, things like fragile bones, weight gain, and short stature.
He got on during the clinical trial, and he's doing so far really good. We see no side effects, and he's got good strength for now and good stamina.
There are drugs that are available for boys with Duchenne. They're available in the United States, the United Kingdom, the European Union, but they were not available in Canada.
John Davidson, who toured Canada in support of his son Jesse as he battled Duchenne muscular dystrophy, says Defeat Duchenne Canada played a key role in funding research on vamorolone. Jesse died in 2009 at the age of 29.
I think Jesse would probably smile and say, well, it's about time.
Vamorolone is only approved for patients up to a certain weight, but Oliver's family hopes by the time he reaches that, new medications will be available. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Figures from the federal government suggest much of the respiratory illness across the country right now is being caused by COVID-19. The latest respiratory virus surveillance report found that 11.4% of COVID tests were positive as of late September versus less than 1% for influenza and RSV. Out of all lab-confirmed respiratory virus outbreaks in recent weeks, 97% were connected to COVID. Hospitalizations for respiratory viruses in general are also trending upwards. This comes as Ontario ramps up its fall vaccine rollout. High-risk and priority groups can already get COVID and flu shots where available. The general public can access them as of October 27th.
After some health challenges in recent weeks and a social media post from her sister that prompted even more concern, Dolly Parton assured fans today that she's okay.
I know lately everybody thinks that I am sicker than I am. Do I look sick to you? I'm working hard here. Anyway, I wanted to put everybody's mind at ease, those of you that seem to be real concerned, which I appreciate.
The 79-year-old said she took a break from filming commercials to record that message. She said she had neglected her own health during her late husband's illness, but she's receiving treatments and she's not ready to die yet. She recently canceled a number of performances and revealed she was dealing with conditions related to a kidney stone.
Taylor Swift says she is taking mixed reviews of her new album in stride.
Welcome to chaos. The rule of show business is if it's the first week of my album release and you are saying either my name or my album title, you're helping. And art, I have a lot of respect for people's subjective opinions on art. I'm not the art police. It's like everybody is allowed to feel exactly how they want. And what our goal is as entertainers is to be a mirror.
The superstar singer-songwriter shared those thoughts with Apple Music's Zane Lowe. There's certainly been a lot of positive reaction from fans to The Life of a Showgirl as well. Swift's 12th album has smashed streaming records, and its release party movie event was #1 at the weekend box office.
Still ahead, see the pint-sized pep rally meant to cheer on our Blue Jays. We'll take you inside a Scarborough school as these students connected with their counterparts in New York ahead of this evening's game. Stay with us.
Back now to New York City and CTV's Sean Leathong, who is live outside Yankee Stadium. Sean, we're fast approaching the first pitch in Game 4 of the ALDS. Talk to us about the mood among fans. I mean, this is not do or die for the Jays, but we certainly don't want to go to Game 5.
Well, it looks like the fans are filing in. It could be happening in just a little while as first pitch flies after 7 o'clock tonight. It's decidedly less Blue Jays fans tonight. It seems like the optimism is much more on the Yankee side. Let's take you to the field inside today. What we saw, the Blue Jays seemed to be confident when they were warming up through batting practice, calm, cool, and collected because they've had to do things like this before. They've been a great bounce-back team throughout the regular season, and manager John Schneider talked about just how they have to look at Game 4. Here's what he had to say.
It's tough. It's tough as a whole to play here. You know, I think we did a really good job of coming out and taking the lead. You know, you're talking about giving a really good team extra outs, and you're talking about a really good player turning around 100. You know, like 3 balls in. You know, so you got to give credit for that for one. But I think we just focus on taking care of the ball. You know, it can turn on you in a hurry. You know what I mean? And I think you just got to kind of stop any kind of momentum. Walks and errors will kill you against this team.
One bit of good news for the Blue Jays is that injured shortstop Bo Bichette was seen running on the field at Yankee Stadium today. Now, he is not an option for the remainder of this series because he has been hurt for the last few weeks of the regular season and into the playoffs. So if the Blue Jays are able to win tonight, they're hopeful he can come back, but they do have to get the job done on the field either tonight or in Game 5. Here's hoping they do it here. Reporting live, I'm Sean Leathong. Send it back inside.
Here's hoping. Thank you, Sean. Have fun there tonight. In other news, a major Canadian energy player is changing its offer to purchase a smaller player in the sector. BNN Bloomberg's Mirella Fernandez has that tonight.
Cenovus is raising its takeover offer of MEG Energy, even though the MEG board already approved its original offer. The new proposal values MEG at $8.6 billion, including debt, and that's $7 million more than the first offer. Cenovus says shareholders had requested changes. Strathcona Resources also has an offer on the table, but MEG's board has urged shareholders to reject it. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar barely moved. It ended the day at 71.65. West Texas Intermediate crude is up to 62.02. Western Canadian Select is up to $50.65. And the TSX gained 150 points today, ending the day at 30,501. Those are your business headlines. I'm Mirella Fernandez.
The Business Report is brought to you by Canadian Western Bank, the bank built for business.
Average asking rents across Canada fell in September for the 12th month in a row, according to Rentals.ca and Urban Nation. Average asking rents were down 3.2% compared to 2024, dropping to about $2,100 a month. Toronto saw a slightly smaller decline of 2.9% to just under $2,600. Still, Urban Nation says renters in this city and Vancouver are seeing some of the lowest prices they have seen in nearly 4 years, as new supply outstrips demand for the time being.
The Federal Court of Appeal heard arguments today from Cineplex as the company defends its use of an online booking fee. Back in 2023, the Competition Bureau said the movie theater chain was engaging in illegal drip pricing by charging some customers up to $1.50 to secure their tickets online. Last year, the Competition Tribunal agreed and imposed a record penalty of nearly $39 million against Cineplex. Lawyers for Cineplex today repeated claims the fee is properly disclosed and can be avoided by buying movie tickets in person.
The Toronto Raptors continue their preseason tonight against the Kings in Sacramento.
This is
is heading significantly north. Ingram on the take with the finger roll.
The Raps began their exhibition schedule with a 112-108 loss to the Nuggets in Vancouver on Monday. R.J. Barrett and Brandon Ingram led Toronto with 19 points apiece. After tonight, the Raps host the Boston Celtics Friday. They begin the regular season October 22nd against Atlanta.
To soccer, and the sport now has its first billionaire player. Bloomberg says Cristiano Ronaldo has joined the exclusive club. The boost to his bank account came earlier this year when he signed a new contract with Al Nassr. The Portuguese superstar went to the Saudi Pro League 2 years ago and became soccer's highest paid player, reportedly bringing in about $200 million per year. The 40-year-old also has sponsorships with Nike and Castrol and Armani. Other sports-based billionaires include Michael Jordan and Roger Federer. Back here at home, some young Blue Jays fans in Scarborough held a pep rally today.
They were cheering the team on, hoping for a big playoff win tonight. CTV's John Musselman was there.
They marched into the gym waving posters and flags, some with paper hats and painted faces, all to support their baseball heroes during a spirit rally at Hunters Glen Public School in Scarborough.
Blue Jays! Oh, the Blue Jays are playing for Canada! Yeah!
The gymnasium was packed and it was loud. And there's no doubt in the minds of these kids that the Blue Jays are going to win tonight.
I think they can win because they're just the best. Really good. I think they're the best team out. They're very strong. I like their good sportsmanship and how many games they won. I think they can beat the Yankees.
And the kids got to send that message directly to New York.
Good morning. Can you hear us? Yes, can you hear us? Yes, we can.
A Zoom hookup with a public school in the Bronx. Kids in the gym there all decked out in their Yankee pinstripes to support their team. They had a bit of a cheering contest. No booing, of course, just some good-natured fun.
It was wonderful to connect with your school. We wish you all the luck because you're going to need it.
You know, just showing the kids that you can be competitors, but there can be like a real sportsmanship between the two teams, and we can be wishing each other really well. And I think that was a really good example of that today.
The students here say it was kind of fun seeing those young Yankee fans up on the big screen.
Do you think they can beat the New York Yankees?
Of course I do.
But nothing compares to seeing the Blue Jays win tonight's big game. John Musselman, CTV News.
After the break, we'll show you a unique tree that was meant to celebrate one man's retirement and has grown within his community.
Get Toronto's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
Finally, tonight, we're getting to the time of year when many trees start losing their leaves.
But one tree in BC is actually gaining ties. CTV's Adam Sawatsky explains.
Over and under.
When it comes to tying ties,
once you do this a couple of thousand times,
Bob Lamb doesn't really need a mirror.
You can do it in your sleep.
He first learned when he was little and mastered it after becoming a banker.
Wore a tie every day I worked for 60-odd years.
Bob also wore a tie that day he married his wife, Marnie.
He had to fit into a very conservative business role, but he was secretly a bit of a rebel.
When he wasn't conspiring with his co-workers to wear bow ties every Thursday, which earned him a nickname,
Bob, Bow Tie Bob.
Bob was running the Boston Marathon in a suit and tie.
You can do it the hard way or you can do it the fun way.
When Bob retired, he gifted or donated many of the more than 50 ties he no longer needed, until a flowering tree that was pruned too hard left them with a bunch of bare branches.
So Bob came up with the idea of, let's hang a few ties on it. And then it just kind of blossomed from there.
Although there were few floral print ties in Bob's remaining collection, he and Marnie ensured the tree proliferated with plaids and paisleys and bloomed with bow ties all year round.
So the ties brought it back to life.
But then, thanks to strangers walking by, the tie tree took on a life of its own.
And all of a sudden, ties were appearing. People would stop by and I would encourage, just add to the collection.
They've ranged from other seniors celebrating retirement to a private school student marking her graduation.
It's been a source of joy just for us, but also people walking by. So I think the tree's happy.
And like this one tie Bob has kept, featuring the lyrics to John Lennon's Imagine, he hopes that all the people will someday join him.
To just share the love and the joy
And realize that while some may see a tie as constricting, it can also blossom into something uniting. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.
Oh, how lovely. We'll hope the country is united tonight in hoping that the Jays clinch this series. And we've got sunny weather tomorrow. Hopefully we'll be feeling sunny.
Yes, the sun will come out tomorrow, no matter what happens tonight. But yes, of course, we are all hoping for the best. Overnight tonight, it is going to become quite chilly. In fact, we're forecasting a low of about 3 degrees in the city of Toronto. You'll notice that that is cooler than normal. And as we've been discussing, there is the risk of frost in many different parts of the GTA. There's tomorrow at a glance, a cooler than normal day with a high of 13 degrees. Lots of sunshine, tapping into a bit more of an easterly wind this time. Friday's looking pleasant. Temperatures back into the upper teens as we head into the long weekend. Zoraida and Michelle.
Thanks, Lindsay. Be sure to join Omar Sachedina tonight at 11 for CTV National News. I'll have your next local newscast at 11:30.
In the meantime, our coverage continues anytime on CP24 and online at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and all of us here at CTV News, thanks for watching. Have a good night. We'll see you at 11:30. Go Jays.
I wonder what you'll be reporting up at the top of the show.